This chair, this is a new chair, and this one's not torn, but it's leaning very far back.
We're kind of on a hill in this way.
So, I promise you, this is a true story, but I need to set the stage. This didn't happen to a friend of a friend of a friend. This happened to somebody, and I was there. So I know, Scout's honor, it did happen.
Firsthand, you saw this.
Yes. So try to remember way back with me, the days before cell phones were in everyone's pocket. The day before even flip phones were a common thing. Flip phones were very expensive. Now, I need to tell you, this story, the main character's name will remain nameless. I'm saying I was there. It's to protect his identity and his good reputation. So, days before cell phones, that's really important. This individual was in love. He was in love, and we were touring musicians. And that's a problem when you're in love with a touring musician before the days of cell phones, when you got to be over here on the map, and they're way over here on the map, and you're in love. And there's not payphones everywhere you go. And so this individual would have a problem because he got one of those really expensive cell phone plans, but it was so much money, and we're poor musicians on the road. So he would go through this constant cycle. You know who I'm talking about.
I know. When you said they were in love, I knew exactly what you were talking about.
He would go through this cycle of getting his paycheck from us, the band, because he was a hired musician, and he would spend a lot of it on just that cell phone bill, and then he would run out of money.
And run out of minutes.
And so then there was long periods of time where he didn't have the ability to call his love, his super love, his mega smoochy woochy love, who wasn't there. And so, now, I did not do this. Don't you dare blame me. But I did not do this. But when we would play shows at churches, generally speaking, if you knew the right number, you could use a number and call out of their phone line.
To call long distance.
If you knew the number.
Usually it's a 9. You dial 9 first and then the long distance number.
How would you know that? Anyway,
I had to do
so
that.
I'm continuing with the story.
The mosquito.
And he would go on these missions to try to find an unlocked down phone so that he could call his smoochy woochy. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. He was Twitter-pated. And one day we were trying to find said person because it was sound check time, which is usually like 3-4 hours before the show. And he wasn't there. And we thought, well, this is weird. Maybe he found some phone somewhere and he's talking to Twitter-pated lady. And we just thought, well, we're kind of irritated because he's supposed to be there for sound check and he's not there.
Right.
And he's a hired gun. Well, it starts getting closer and closer to the show. And he doesn't show up. And then right before the show, we see him, and he's got a different change of clothing on, and his hair is done differently. And he's kind of looking like, hey, guys, what's going on? Like out of breath. I mean, well, that's weird. Maybe he had a bad conversation. Maybe spilled something on it. I don't know. So we play the show, and then later he says, guys, I got to tell you something that happened. I need to come clean in case somebody found out. What do you mean, in case somebody found out? Well, the reason why I wasn't at sound check is because I was looking for a phone to dial out to call this young lady. And it kept getting darker and darker because I was looking through the church. And if you're wondering, did he get what he deserved? Just wait. So he said he couldn't find lights, and he kept going down this long hallway, and then turned, and it was dark, and it was like pitch black dark. But he kept going, thinking he's scanning the walls with his hands for a light switch. And then he said, And all of a sudden, I felt like there was a few stairs. I was going up like 4 or 5 stairs, and I thought for sure there's got to be an office up here. And he's looking for the light switch. There's no light switch, but there's a doorknob. So he opens the door, and he walks, and then he said, I was completely in the air falling. And then I was completely covered in water, underwater, in darkness, completely terrified, screaming. And it had, well, he fell into the baptistry in the front of the church. I guess you get what you get.
Poor kid.
You get what you get.
Yeah.
So that got me to thinking today. How many times have you and me been so caught up in the thing we're doing right here, right now, that we're not paying attention to what could possibly be right on the other side of what I'm already doing? Ladies and gentlemen, life lessons from a potential long-distance phone minute thief.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind it's helped a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept your name quiet.
Yep.
All these years.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How many of you have honestly had one of those moments? This is where you can confess. Put your confession in the comment section down below, because most people don't know who you are anyway. Mm-hmm. So say, this time I did, and it was the funniest thing ever.
Right. Right.
How many times have you gotten caught doing something that could have been avoided, mainly just because you were so focused on whatever anxious thing, nerve-wracking thing, November-ish thing, what's going to happen in the world thing, that you get so caught up in the worry, so caught up in the, I have to be in a freak out zone right now, that you're not looking at the big picture and you're not paying attention to where you're going long term. Now, since Krista didn't know what I was going to say to you, I just said, hey, I got an idea. Let's go talk to people. She has no idea what to say, so I'm going to put her on the spot. Hey, what do you think?
About
I don't know.
anyone in particular?
The cost of tea in China.
I think it's a little expensive now. No. It
Go.
honestly. All right, quit. Where's the spotlight? Yeah, right here. We do get too caught up in things that we think are super important, and they may be super important, but what's on the other side? What's long term? What's on the other side? You know, is it your child that you're ignoring because you have to get this project done and they just need to talk to you or hug you or just need to hear that you love them? I mean,
gotta be honest, I've been guilty of that in the past.
Every parent has, and if they haven't, they're lying to themselves. Every parent has had that, where they think that the thing that they're doing can't wait for 5 minutes. It can.
That's a good point. Usually, the things that are really, really important are the things that are faith and family, and everything else that's temporary stuff can wait.
Yep. That work project, that can wait. That text, or even a phone call, can wait.
What kind of bird is that?
I don't know. It's really cool.
Do you hear it? If you know what kind of bird that is, put it in the chat below.
I'm not good at that.
Ladies and gentlemen, life is too short to be worried about stuff. Now, I know we have jobs and we have lives and we have things that got to get done. I'm not saying ignore them. I'm saying put them in correct priority.
Exactly.
Correct priority. And no, shoving off a kid who just wants a hug from mom or dad is not the correct priority.
Right.
So, that said, man, I hope you're having a blessed day.
Mm-hmm.
It's raining now.
It is a little bit.
So I guess we better go inside.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess that's not our first priority. It's not.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, there it is.
Yep. You have a blessed and amazing day.